Burton and I'm an aeromodeller and an engineer. Join me on a fascinating journey where I show you some of the techniques used in scale aeromodelling. Welcome back to the workshop modelers, and you'll be pleased to know that the oleos and all the machining is more or less finished, which I'm quite relieved, and you're probably quite relieved. You want to get back to something that you can do and you can join in with. I appreciate a lot of you haven't got lathes and mills, so showing videos of me turning bits and pieces in metal probably is not very entertaining, so that's why there's not really been any videos. But I thought I'd just show you how they ended up after all that work, and there was a lot of them. And I also wanted to give a shout out to one of the viewers who put me onto a product which has been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Anyway, first of all, let's have a look at the oleos. Here's the pair. The wheels are these are Cavan inflatable wheels, which they're only 4-inch. I need 4.5 inch, but they'll do for the meantime. But I want to make my own hubs, and I'll probably make covers for these, just to use these, while I think about how I'm going to make, the wheels and the tyres. I've got some metal to make wheels, so whether I do or not, I don't know yet. But these will do for testing. So that's the oleo. You can see it's working really well. It sounds awful because there's no lubrication in there at the moment. Oops, and the nuts and bolts are not done up particularly tight, and they're not locked. But anyway, you'll see in a minute. I'll probably take that one apart, because that's the one that has decided the link pin is coming apart. So these arms, these torque arms, were made on the mill. They were cut out by hand with a jeweler's saw, and then the mill was used to hollow out the indentations. But really, they were made purely with cutting out and files and files and hours of sanding, and well, not so much sanding, but filing. Then the ends were drilled, and there's some M2 screws that are linking it all together. These are not acting as torque, well, they are sort of acting as torque arms, but they're not structural, they're more aesthetic. But they're probably adding a little bit of strength to the twisting motion of the oleo, because the oleo in the inner part and the outer part, normally with an oleo, and let me get another one and I'll show you. And this is the one I made as a test. Normally with an oleo, you put a slot in the outside, and then you put a pin or a screw on the inside, and it goes through the slot, and it operates and stops the oleo from stops the inner leg from twisting. This has got a little bit of play in it because that pin is a little bit too small for the slot. But you get the idea, and you can see the damping is done by some of this Ryogel grease, which I'm waiting for. I ordered some from the States, but unfortunately it's got lost in shipping. So I'm hoping it'll arrive soon. We'll just have to see. So that's how you'd normally do it, with this slot on the outside and a pin. The way I've done it is I've put the slot on the inside, and then there's a screw on the outside that locates in that slot. What this gives us is a sealed unit. So grit and grime and everything, which you could see in this one, it would get in the slot and then gum up the works. With this one, it's sealed, so you can't get in there. So what have we got inside? Let me show you. So if I release this screw here, and what I've done is I've used slightly larger screws than I was expecting. I don't know whether you can see that one. It's an M5, so it's a 5mm metric, what's called a dog grub screw. And that means that it's got this beautifully machined end on it that's nice and smooth and shiny. And you'll see what we're using that for in a second. So then if we slide it all apart, there's the channel on the inside. And then this dog grub runs in that slot. Okay, that's the secret. Now what was cunning, and oh, there's the spring, by the way, and what I do is I can change the spring for different rates. These are very soft, just to give you an idea, you know, of how the system works. They're very soft, and I have put some very hard ones in which work equally well. In fact, they're smoother because they're stronger springs. But I can't really mess around with spring rates until we know the final weight of the model, and I'll do it with the model more or less complete, and then we'll work that out. Okay, so these arms, torque arms, attach to aluminium rings that I machined on the lathe and the mill. And there's a bigger one at the top end of the strut. Now these, normally what you'd do is you'd put a slot in them and then you'd squeeze a screw and it would clamp the ring to the inner bit. But because I was using these torque arms and there isn't a slot, I was struggling to figure out a way that I was going to lock that ring to the oleo leg. So what somebody suggested was some of this, and this is Loctite 638, and it's actually an adhesive, but it's a very clever adhesive because it only sets when there's no air, which is a bit strange. So why isn't it set in the bottle? I don't know, but anyway, that's by the by. So what I did, and I mean the fit of the ring to the leg was fairly close, but it wasn't exactly, you know, heat the outside of this and put it on, which is probably the better way of doing it, but that's well beyond me. So what I did was I put that Loctite on the inner piece and then slid this ring over the top, and it was loose. You know, it wasn't mega loose, but it was loose. And I left it overnight, and it's absolutely solid. There's no way you can break that joint. So whoever put me onto that, brilliant. So that's what's glued that end, and also what's glued this end. Again, it was a close fit, but not tight fit, you know, a good snug fit. And this glue, this Loctite, has done the business. Really, really impressive. So there you have it. That's the oleo systems and the oleo legs with the bits and pieces attached. Once the damping grease arrives, that's binding a little bit. I wonder what's on. It's just rubbing a bit, but I'll not worry about it now. But it's probably a burr or something like that that's got in the way. So once you line the channel up, the grub screw can go in. And when you get it to the right point, it operates freely. Let's just put this linkage back together, if I can do it on camera. So once I'm happy with all this, and I'm waiting for some more M2 screws. So because I don't like these, the heads on these, I want to get them slightly different. So for now, they're not locked. They're just spun up, and as you can see, they they come undone easily. I was going to use nylocks, but actually nylocks are too big and they look wrong. So there we have the finished article. I think they're going to work really well. Now there is still the nag that this joint, this section right here, might be weak, and these could snap. But they've been entertaining to make, and I've learned a huge amount. And also my mill and my lathe are now slop free, because doing this has shown weaknesses in my lathe and how it's set up. So I've been tweaking all sorts of things. I've even adjusted the tailstock to make sure it actually aligns perfectly with the chuck. So it's been a very interesting exercise. So the next step is just to put these in the wing and make sure these locking screws release freely. And once I'm happy that that's the case, then I can close the wing up, so we can start putting the leading edge sheeting on, the wing tips, the leading edge, the block leading edge. We can run some wiring in for the landing lights. I've got just a cheap and nasty GT Power light set, which effectively is a load of LEDs of varying colours, either green or red or white, and there's a red flashing beacon as well, which is just an LED that's got a flashing circuit in it. And here is the circuit. So you plug the lights into these various parts, and then just plug your receiver battery into it, or just put it on a spare channel. I'll plug a separate battery in, and that will give us some lights. I doubt they'll be visible over any great distance, but if you look closely, that you should see them. There will be a landing light under the wing on the front of one of these legs, on the shroud, and I'll try and make that one as bright as I can, because I do think it's quite nice when you're coming in on finals and on your approach to be able to see the landing light. I think that is quite nice. But anyway, there you go, just a quick update to let you know where we're at, and hopefully we'll have a little bit more entertaining video next when we actually start to close the wing up. I'm looking forward to that. And thanks for watching, and if you've enjoyed the video, please click like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.